I think we've all been snookered by people, and I truly feel sometimes it takes, sometimes it just smacks you in the face so hard when you realize you've been duped. And who wants to admit that they have been duped? It's embarrassing and it's hard. So, with that being said, I am more than happy to allow TM in my chat if she wants to take a link. But anyways, I do believe that I want to be shown grace, whether I feel like I deserve it or not. And for people to, you do like it? Let me have a bite. For people that want, you hear it all the time. We'll forgive everybody but Nicolina. That's because they're afraid of me. Tiffany and I had a very long discussion today. Hey, Ray. And she said, I want to apologize to you. We got off on the wrong start, or the wrong foot. And I said, you're absolutely right. I attacked you because of BK. You attacked me because of BK. Doesn't mean we're best friends, but it doesn't mean we cannot coexist. Let me have another bite of that. That was good. It doesn't mean we can't coexist on the same platform. We don't have to hate people because other people tell us to hate them, right? Maggie stays busy with what's called real. Oh, shit. I missed what you said. Maggie stays busy what's called real life. Her mama raised her right, like it or not. You see, shed is sinking into the ground. He is asking for help getting it lifted out of the ground, and plumbing ran to the shed. Wow. He's 400 pounds. He could probably do it himself, right? I don't know her enough, but I was. You know how many people have attacked me for the cosmic brownies and curtains? I did say that to her today. I said, Tiffany, stop attacking me for lack of curtains. I asked her to leave Christina alone, and she agreed that she would, and she was just thinking she was being helpful. This does not mean Tiffany and I are best friends. But what I do know is I think she has seen the light. And that grace is exactly what she reached out to you for. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there were ulterior motives, but we did attack each other. It just does not mean we're best friends or we trust each other, but I will defend her when it comes to AB, because AB has been out of line with her.
Wait, people are still bringing up the cosmic brownie thing.
I love how Nick won't be swayed. I won't either. I make up my own mind about people. Won't see me hate, but no. I dropped the link again. I'm just at this point in my YouTube quote unquote time. I'm exhausted. I know a lot of you are exhausted. Yeah, I mean, it's been 18 months. A lot of, I would love to set my swords down with people, and when I do, it's weaponized. Why? Why are we weaponizing peace? Ask yourself that. Why are we weaponizing peace? We laid our swords down with a stand. Others decided they wanted to follow through. Why are we weaponizing that? Why are we weaponizing that? This does not have to be Israel versus Gaza. At all. I dropped the link for you again, Tiff. Hold on, my husband's texting me. Oh! Alright. Okay. Alright. I got evidence that Mr. Keys was in the courthouse that day. They are date and time stamped, and they are photos. So, I'm not going to show them, but I just confirmed them. TM's not blocked. She was just in here. She asked me to redrop the link. I did. I'm going to drop it one more time. I think that a lot of people it doesn't matter who they are. I think even Tiffany Marie gets tired of bullshit.
I never had to ask. She never give me more than I can carry. First leg it's not pleasant. None of this is pleasant. There's been many people who have helped me get to this point. And I'm not going to go all down through who each person is, but you know who you are. Try to be and do everything I could to be inherent.
Hey.
Hi.
I know that it's been a lot the last 12 days.
Yeah, it's been a lot. Were you able to get those proof that he was really in court on time?
Yes. Yep. I actually have those photos. He was in court. He was wearing a plaid button-up shirt. It's date and time stamped. Tiffany was on FaceTime with him. I will send those to someone if they ask. just one person, Tiff, not everybody. I won't even send it to any of my girls.
I just think that the truth
But
matters, you know, like I don't want to, I would have no problem with showing myself, but I don't want to put him out there. Like, does that make sense? I don't want to invade his privacy in any kind of way, but the truth matters that he really did go to court on Friday. He was there on time. He literally was in the courthouse for several hours. And I think that that is important people know, because a lot of people, I know he did not appear before the judge. I agree on that. But when he was being called, his attorney told him where to be. I was there for it all. My word is all I have, obviously.
I will tell you right now, I'm looking at 4 photos, date and time stamps.
Well, there's 2. I showed you the full photo, but so I couldn't show the time.
Oh, by the way, you have really nice curtains in your background. I got to do it.
Those are different curtains.
Okay, go on.
So there are 4 photos, but I wanted to make sure you could see the timestamp, but I wanted to make sure you
I
could
did.
see the photo. But when I show the timestamp, it would like show my camera roll, right? So like
I saw. Yeah,
Does that
I don't
make
want.
sense?
Yeah, I'm not going to show your photo. No, I get it.
I don't care
So
if I don't care about my photo.
no, I mean, I saw your curtains. I saw your face. I saw Benny in his plaid button-up polo. I see that he's inside of a courthouse. You can definitely tell he is in a courthouse.
Yes.
And it's March 22nd, and let me see the time, at 10:05 a.m. He was there.
He really was, yeah. He was there from 8. He got there at 8 something. He literally was there on time. He left his house at 6:45 in the morning. And he was driven in. He showed up, arrived. He was there.
Mom drove him, correct?
Yes, he was there. His mom drove him. He was absolutely there. He went through the metal detector. He went out for a cigarette several times. He definitely was standing there. And
Now, let me interrupt. Some people think, and this is no shade to anybody, that you can't have a phone in a courthouse. Now,
Sure. Yeah.
a few years ago, you couldn't. Now, my attorney, Phil Ellison, actually challenged that in the 6th District Federal Court here in our district.
Yeah.
And guess what? It was overturned because it was ruled unconstitutional and a violation of the First Amendment right. So now cell phones are allowed in Michigan. Now, I don't know. I think Texas is the 8th district or the 12th. I can't remember. But
I do know that
usually when one federal court rules and makes an opinion,
Yeah.
all district courts follow that until it's taken to the Supreme Court and they make a ruling.
the phone was allowed, yeah. And it was outside. It wasn't in the courtroom. It was outside.
Yeah, outside of the courtroom. Yeah.
But I know that I know for certain, because I was there the whole time, that he was there for several hours. He didn't just walk in and walk out. He was there for several hours. He didn't leave until 10:21. 10:21 a.m. he walked out of the courthouse. And that is my hand to Bible.
I actually have no reason to challenge you except for the fact that his attorney told the court that he told his client not to show up.
I don't know why he would tell him not to show up. And that definitely I didn't hear, because
You weren't in the courtroom.
the day before, well, he never went into the courtroom at all. And his
No,
attorney,
right. So you wouldn't have heard it because you weren't in the
No.
courtroom.
So his attorney told him not to show up. Well, or it was said that his attorney told him not to show up?
That is what allegedly happened at the 8 o'clock hearing.
Okay, because at the 8 o'clock hearing, the attorney, as far as I know, because Benny was looking for him, he wasn't even in the courthouse. Benny was, but his attorney was in the car in the parking lot on a conference call. That's what he texted to Benny. Benny's mom, excuse me. Because at 8:40, I said, Benny, it's 8:40. Where is the attorney? Like, maybe you should go to the bailiff and just be seen. Let them see you standing there. Like, I don't know what the attorney's doing, but it's really important that they see you. You don't have to talk to anybody, but like I was trying to, get him to I wanted them to see he was physically there at the door, but I don't believe his lawyer told him the right place to stand, because I was listening. I was on the phone. The microphone was on. Never did I hear anyone call for him. They said they called 3 times. I didn't hear that. So I don't believe he was standing in front of the right area. And I can only say what I know, right? I don't know why the attorney would tell him not to show up. That I don't know about.
So can I ask you this question? Did you at any time ever ask him, did he look at the docket? Because in Michigan, the docket is
He always looks at the docket, always.
tacked outside of each courtroom.
He always looks at the
Okay.
docket. I do not recall that morning. I honestly can't even say yes or no, because my mind is really fuzzy right now. Just like a lot has happened in the last several weeks. And I can't
You
even
told me
say
last night.
Yeah, I can't say if he even looked at the docket. I don't want to misspeak on that.
But is
he
it fair to
always-
say? Is it fair to say there's a docket outside of each courtroom?
Oh, I've always known there to be yes.
Okay.
I don't know how that courthouse is set up. I know he was sitting on a bench in the foyer area with his mom. So
Yeah.
he only left to go out and have a smoke quick, I think twice in the 2 hours that he was there. So, I don't know. And then he was just waiting for his attorney to come in. His attorney came in. I don't know exactly what time that was. He approached him in the hallway, said, things are really screwy. I don't know what's going on. There was a warrant entered overnight, and I need to go check on some things. And I won't elaborate, but things went downhill from there.
Yeah, no, Karma, yes. Tiffany just sent me screenshots where they are FaceTiming. He is inside of the courthouse. I can see what he's wearing. I can see Tiffany on the screen. It has a date and time stamp of March 22nd that one was 10:05 a.m. So yes, that's what I'm saying. But if you're going to attack Tiffany in this chat, listen, this is not no, it's not you, but I need to set an expectation in my chat. You may or may not like Tiffany, just like people may or may not like me. That doesn't mean that they are not credible or they don't have credible information. And I want you to just sit back. I want you to listen and take it in. Now, realize Benny went from 5 years probation, no jail time. I did screw that up when I talked to you earlier, Tiffany. They decided 5 years probation only because they knew he would fuck it up. Then it went to 5 years prison. And that was with the Valium and the weed shit that was turned in. Okay. During the same hearing, it was brought up that Dawn, his mother, text messaged Crystal and said, I know I shouldn't be doing this, but, and I'm paraphrasing, Benny, however they refer to him affectionately, is asking if you would drop the charges and he will pay you, please block Fatty Catty, he will pay you $10,000. That is a felony. That is witness intimidation.
Yeah. So
coercion.
Can I say how I heard it? Like, can I?
Yeah, but let me.
Okay.
This is TM. Let me finish. So it went from 5 years probation to 5 years of prison because of the controlled substance use to 10 years prison because of the witness intimidation. Mods, please block anybody that is being disrespectful to my panel guests. This is not Mama T's chat. I do not allow this bullshit. If you cannot be respectful, then get out of my chat and go to the bushes and block those people because this is, he's been picked up. Today he was picked up at his mama's house and he's looking at 10 years. All right, go on.
Okay, so I think that a minute ago you had said that at the hearing, but I want to make it really clear. So, and I don't want to, what I don't want to do is I don't want to, Can
I interrupt you? Tiffany is exhausted, you guys. I was on the phone with her for 25 minutes last night. She reached out to me. She has been pretty much held hostage, and she showed me her call log. 19 hours a day on a phone call because BK was weaponizing that he was going to end his life. Okay? For 12 days was in a state of, oh my God, what if he ends his life and I'm not here and I'm not engaged? It'll be my fault. Okay? And that happens. She has the receipts. So I want you to be respectful of this woman, despite how you may feel about her. She reached out to me because she was at her wit's end last night. Her wit's end. She reached out to me of all fucking people. Because she didn't know what to do. She didn't know how to handle this. All right, go on.
So yeah, I am really exhausted. So if I don't sound like myself, I'm not. Really not, and it's been very hard and difficult, so I appreciate that, Nicolina. Yeah, it's been really rough, no matter how anybody feels about myself or Benny, or if it was even you or whatever. It's still someone's life, it's still someone's life, their real life, and it's serious. But so there was, I don't know what day it was, I wish I could remember. I could go back and probably look through my text and refresh, and maybe I could give an answer later. But
Tiffany has been very forthright with me, you guys.
Every word.
When I say she's been forthright, she is sending receipts. This is not Brandy. I told her what she did to all of you today. She and I had a conversation today for well over an hour. Okay, so I would like you to show her the grace that you would want to be shown if the shoe was on the other foot. You dig? All right.
Yeah, and I know it's uncomfortable for some people. I'm not a regular over here, and I'm in their space, right? So I totally get it. I'm not here trying to make anybody feel uncomfortable. I just want to make sure that, like Nicolina has said in the beginning, because I did turn it on when it started, there's going to be a lot of people that do lie. And for I will give you the credit that you're allowing me to tell what I know, because normally I would put you in the category of, maybe spreading misinformation around because of maybe harsh feelings or whatever. But I feel like in this moment, you actually are wanting to help get the actual truth out, and that's me saying my truth, right? So some people may not believe it or whatever. All the other residual things that have gone on, like we could talk about those anytime, like for Brandy
And
or whoever, right?
Penny, hey girl. Penny says, I reached out to you after we didn't talk for a long time for the same reason. BK suicide baited me. I needed your help. And I'm sure now she understands, Penny. Oh my God. After last night's call, what do you say? I mean, she's in chat. I'm shocked.
Is she saying that she reached out to me for help or you?
You.
I don't remember that at all, and I will look through my messages, but I don't believe that I just. Penny, do you have a date?
Well, let's not. Penny, no, what? Did you reach out to her? Because I don't think
No.
you were reaching out to me. Oh, you reached out to me?
Okay. Because
Penny, yeah, I was gonna say, there was no way for me to help at that point. You know what I'm saying? I was inundated by BK's bullshit, and you reached out because he was doing the same shit to me. It was abusive. I set boundaries, and I pretty much said I'm done. And he did it not just to me, to you. He did it to Brandy. He did it to Tiffany. He did it to Little G. He did it to Crimes. He did it to Diana. He did it to Casey. He did it to Amy. We have a whole list of people he did this, and Izzy, who he did this to. And yeah, remember he was pissed because I gave you his, yes, yep, sure did. And Dawn ripped me up one side and down the other. She sure did. Because I was terrified he was going to die. And you know how that feels, don't you, Tiffany?
Yes.
Fucking worried that somebody's life is hanging in your hands if you don't act. If you're recording me, that's fine. I'll give you the link, honey.
So do you want me to tell you about?
Yeah, go on.
So this is exactly, and I remember very, very well because the response that Benny had was pure fear when he found out what was said and what was written. I do not believe he would ever, even in the state he was in, reach out to Crystal. And I don't feel that was his doing because I had been with him for probably 10 hours at that point on the phone without hanging up. He didn't mute anything. There wasn't any kind of conversation. He was gone from his house during the day, during the hours that he was abiding still at this time with the ankle monitor, which was confusing to me because he wasn't where he was supposed to be, but he was still following the rules of his ankle monitor, which I thought was important. And I was glad he was following those rules. But she had texted him and he was in a very frantic state. He was very worried. He was very scared. He was very fearful. And he got a text from his mom. I can't say exactly what it said, but she said she had been in contact with Crystal. So he said something to the effect of, good old Mama Keys, she's trying to help. He didn't know what she was talking to her about, but he didn't ask.
And hold on. Mm-hmm. For everyone that just heard it, she's saying Mama Keys, not Mama Keys.
Sorry, what
all right. No. Oh, I wanted to make sure they knew you were saying Mama Keys and not Mama T, because it kind of.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. So he didn't ask her what she said or anything like that. Things progressed as the night went on. She became more inconsolable, and it was a really bad situation for quite a while. She had called in and added her on three-way, and she did verbalize to him that she had sent a message to Crystal asking for. Now, maybe I should back this up. Hold on a minute because I left something out. Earlier in the day, was it even the same day? I'm so sorry, I can't remember. There was a conversation that happened prior where he was venting and talking about what he would do anything. I would do anything to get these charges, dropped. And, I don't understand why they're so hefty and why they're being so, harsh with this 5 years thing. He was really shook about it. So he said I would be willing to give her every dime I have. I would give her everything. She could take everything. She can have my money. So he was basically saying, he was speaking out.
Right. Just talking to. Yeah.
So
all right.
She called in.
Now, can I ask you this?
Yes.
From a legal standpoint, if you were to be subpoenaed, would you testify to that?
Absolutely.
Okay. I want to. Okay.
Yes, because the truth matters. I wish.
And he did not tell Tiffany the extent of his crimes, but Tiffany and I had a very long conversation today, and he did not tell Tiffany the extent of his crimes, but Tiffany and I had a very long conversation today, and I did. Did I not, Tiff?
Yes.
I think we were on the phone for an hour and 40 minutes.
Something like that, yeah, quite a while.
Yeah.
So she had called in, and that's when she explained what she had said. And it was to the effect of, I told Crystal that I'd spoken with you and that you would be willing to pay her $10,000. he immediately said, please tell me you did not do that, Mom. Please tell me you did not do that. And then he started saying, oh my God, it's finished. I'm done. It's over for me. He was beside himself. I know with all my heart, no word of a lie. I know he did not want that, and it was not his decision. So it's very upsetting to know that, but that's what happened. And I'm here because it matters and it's the truth. And when someone has 10 years hanging over their head, yes, absolutely. I would always speak to the truth or what I know. If it were the opposite way around and he had something to do with it, would I be sitting here saying, I don't know. I can't even answer that because I don't know. I'm not trying to hurt him. So
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. Nobody ever gives me the benefit of the doubt, and that's why I am going to give it to you. I know I have been in very tough situations throughout my lifetime. We discussed that earlier. And it's easy to enable and be codependent based on earlier life experiences, fear of survivor's guilt if they take their life, right? Tiffany, I know you have been there for him, and we talked about how he weaponized you, attacked you, and then during that same time, he came to me because Benny needs a female in his life to co-sign and support him. So after he discarded you and he came to me with the suicide baiting, and we talked about his revenge porn against you. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember talking about that.
Yep. BK he sent me a compromising photo of you, and he was going to share it on a live stream. And there was no reason for it. He sent them to A Balanced. He went on A Balanced live stream. And I had told Benny, you can't come back from that. That is a felony. BK is always collecting information, filing it so that he can use it against you. And some people are afraid to step away out of fear of him retaliating, much like everyone says about me, but I don't actually do that unless it's a general principle thing that I'll stand on a hill and die for. But sometimes you get enraptured and stuck. And it happens.
It does. It happens.
Yeah, yes. He told me, matter-of-factly, he sent them to JC. That's John Crimes, for those of you that don't know. No one is lying when they say that. No. I actually offered to plug in my old cell phone where BK had sent me those photos. And he's like, I'm gonna show this online. And I was like, you will never come back from this. And this is a felony, and you're already facing a felony currently. Ooh, Chasing Justice says, he did the same thing to another woman a couple years ago. It's the basis for my disdain for him back then. He showed her pics multiple times during his live. He is an Ernie 2.0. All right, go on. I will not interrupt you anymore.
I don't know where I was, Nicolene. I apologize. What
we were talking about his mom and
what I remember. So I heard how scared he was when he found out that there was a text sent of that nature, and he knew exactly what it would mean for him. And I also know that he did not ask for that. I would have heard. I was on the phone with him, like I said, all day. I don't know. And I don't want to, I think that it was a desperate situation. I can't imagine, okay, aside from any feelings that I may have about that situation, I don't want to judge another mother in a situation where she may have been really scared and willing to do anything possible, or maybe, when you make a split second decision, but it's a split second decision that I would not have made. Never would I ever contact Crystal and try to sway her or because it's not my place. And I was not there for the relationship, nor will I judge her because I don't know what went on.
Can you say if you judged her previously?
I guess I have. But I definitely kept those feelings to myself. I was more of a listening ear. I tried very hard not to get into my feelings. I didn't want to add more stress to the situation, and I tried to encourage. I was not trying to add more stress to the situation. I wanted the best possible outcome for his son and for him, obviously. Yes, it hurt to see what he was going through and to know, when someone's freedom is at stake. But I also, in my life, have been subject to mental, emotional, and physical abuse by man. And other women, they didn't know my story, right? So I have been pretty unbiased when it comes to because I don't know the particulars. So yes, I judged her at times because it was upsetting, to see the toll it was taking on his mental. Yes, truthfully, my answer is yes.
I mean,
have.
I think a lot of people hopped on the train not knowing and said, no way, there's no way this happened.
I would never believe that. I would never believe. See, this is what my thing was, because I haven't seen proof of these things, right? How can I speak to something I haven't seen or heard for myself? I would never believe that Benny would put his child in the position to have anyone showing up to the home that his little boy is sleeping in. That's very hard for me to believe. His love for his son is undeniable. I can't imagine that he would put his child in that position. So that's hard for me to come to terms with, you know?
He did, though.
It's just very hard to imagine to do that.
But remember, you told me. He told you he's a self-admitted sociopath.
He did tell me he's a sociopath.
Yeah. And what do sociopaths do?
No feelings.
What do sociopaths do? They manipulate, they gaslight. You told me today that he was a self-admitted sociopath.
He absolutely has admitted that he is a sociopath. Yes. Whether that's true or not, I don't have the doctor's writing. I don't know if the doctor is ever.
No, I get that, but you gotta.
I think he believes that he is. I think he's admitted that online. I believe there is.
Yeah, he has.
Yes.
He has.
Yeah.
And when a monster tells you who they are, and I do believe that all right, I'm not trying to lock you into anything, but we've all heard him say that. And he would talk about sociopathy. He would brag not to fuck with him. You could fuck with him, find out. I don't know. I mean, it's very conflicting because at one point I was in the same spot you are right now, if that makes sense. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Beneficent said she's also heard him say that.
Yeah, Tragedy Pimps Exposed said he has admitted that publicly as well.
I thought Tragedy Pimp Exposed was your channel that BK used.
No, that's he made his own channel. He has another channel. I forgot about that. That's Tragedy Hose Exposed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tragedy Pimps Exposed she actually does a lot of really great work on Sicky. She's been following Summer's case as far as
we're not, and I just want to say this: we're not going to talk poorly about Ziggy. This is not the place.
Yeah, I think that's what our channel covers. Yeah. That's a completely different channel.
Okay. All right. Nope. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yep. No.
I mean that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
So at the end of the day, you and I are mothers.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of our chats, they are mothers. I know myself, I can speak only for myself, and we talked about this today. I would go to the ends of the earth to protect my child. When somebody says, would you kill someone for your child? I would, to protect my child. So Crystal was in a place, it was a conundrum. Like, I'm sure she wants her son's father to get his shit together and to be a father, and he just couldn't. It was manipulation. Listen, when Tiffany reached out to me last night, I'm telling you what, I was like this, and I did record that call, Tiff, because I'm not going to play it though. I'm not going to exploit it. I was terrified that you guys were setting me up.
I understand that.
That you guys were putting me in a position where I was going to be blamed for some weird SWAT call, and I was mean to you. I was mean. All right, Penny.
It's okay.
No, but I get where Penny is. Penny was fucking abused badly.
Yeah, I can't see Penny.
But,
sorry.
No, it's okay. But I think you and BK like really hurt Penny, and you guys have to figure that out.
Yeah, that's a subject altogether.
But we're not going to talk about that right now.
Yeah.
What we talked about last night, I was like, why are you calling me?
Mm-hmm.
Is this some sort of setup? I was slightly panicking because I was like, great, now BK is helping these fucktards over in AC's community. And they're going to say, oh, Tiffany called Nicolina, and then a SWAT call was called on Benny Keys. I was fucking worried.
Yeah, no, and I do know that I can't speak to yesterday because yesterday was a completely different day altogether. But throughout the course of the last almost 2 weeks, he had YouTube removed from his phone. He was not using it. So I don't believe he's been in contact with anybody over there. I don't believe he was at all looking at YouTube. He wasn't even able to function. He was non-functionable for
I believe it.
Yeah, I don't believe at all that he was planning or plotting against you in any way.
But I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can understand why you would feel that way. Absolutely. And I wouldn't blame you at all. If you had reached out to me, I would totally feel there was something strange as well going on. So no problem. Like, I totally expect for you to record me if we're on a call. Like, we aren't two people that have ever seen eye to eye. We've had a lot of issues and never have gotten along. So you're absolutely, totally, it's understandable. I wouldn't even think anything other than you feeling
I
that
did
way.
not. I swear on my daughter's life and my granddaughter's life, I did not record today's conversation
That's okay.
because
And listen, even if you
I
did,
just no. I
yeah,
just said I did not, and I
yeah,
want you to
that's fine.
understand that.
Well,
The
I
reason I
appreciate
did
that.
not is because at that point I was like, okay, she's serious.
Very much so. Yeah.
I realized the seriousness of what was going on, and I'm not, as much as Benny would exploit me and the rest of us, I was not going to exploit our discussion. I feel like we had a very open and frank discussion. Um, and I understood from a human standpoint how absolutely emotionally and mentally depleted you were.
I still am.
I know you are. Tiffany would spend 19 hours a day on the phone with BK because he was going to end his life, and he held her hostage in that sense.
I did
She,
choose to stay. I did choose to stay. You know, it was my choice.
I know you did.
And I would do
I
it
know you
again.
did.
I really would. I want him to live. I want him to live. I want him to survive this. And I believe that he's stronger than this situation. And I don't believe that this is the end of his life and that he
It's
can
not.
make it through. And I would do it for anybody. I would do it for a stranger. And
I
especially
wouldn't.
would do it for someone I care about.
I
I would.
I wouldn't. But the reason why is because I have boundaries and I have to protect my own mental health, and I will not.
Yeah.
I will no longer exert my own mental health
It came
for
on.
someone
I
that is
didn't
not in my
expect it.
family.
I didn't expect it, and I definitely did not foresee it happening. It's never happened before. It's not like this. I've never. I did not know that he struggled like this, and the reason I reached out to
Yeah.
Nicolina was because I wanted to know if this was something, because I know that he had said that she saved his life, and there were, through all of the days that what was going on, I kept wanting to, and I did not, because I would not, go outside of the bounds of telling someone's business and alerting anybody to know what was going on. I didn't want to do what I wanted to do was ask, what did you say that saved his life? Because whatever you said, I was struggling. I was struggling to say whatever it was that, and I thought about it over and over. Like, what was it that Nicolina did that I am missing here, right? And
what did I tell you? Is I put up.
Yeah.
I gave him boundaries, and I said I'm done with this shit. We discussed how he approached me after 8 months of no contact. I left his community. He didn't kick me. I knew that was a narcissistic injury for him. So he reached out to me. He grabbed me, and when I say grabbed me, threats of unaliving is a trigger for me, and anyone that follows me knows that because of my mom's threats growing up, and it was very traumatic. So that little girl in me, I felt like I had to try, and all I did was talk to him for 2.5 hours. I was trying to tell him, stop that. You can't say that you love your son while also wanting to destroy your son by ending your life. I lost my father at the age of 12, and it was the most devastating, traumatic event that I have endured until 2015. I didn't want that for Luca. And then it became very manipulative. He told me he relapsed. I did a whole live stream on his relapse, and I called him out. There's a lot of people that are like, don't shame an addict. No, you know what? When an addict is highly manipulative and they're holding a plethora of people hostage, you have to stop in the track. And it was always just an emotional blackmail. And I was so pissed at you last night. I was like, this is a setup. How much more do you people want to fucking throw at me? You know what I mean? Well, not you in general, but just YouTube shit.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you reached out. I thought last night it was superficial. It was some fucked up thing you guys were going to try to do and say, oh, look, Nicolina called in a welfare check on Benny and saying he was suicidal, and he's not. So I literally talked to every woman that I respect, and they all felt the same way. And then today happened. And I was like, holy shit. He was manipulating her. Yeah, it was awful, Diana. It was awful. You know what? I did love Benny. I don't. There's a part of me that still sees the little boy that wasn't loved and nurtured appropriately. This is why people turn out like Benny. But you can only allow that to take hold for so long. Otherwise, they will literally suck the life out of you. This is an energy vampire. So yeah, that's really it. There's Benny's side of the story, and then there is the actual truth. Benny is looking now at at 10 years in prison. That is the plea deal that was put on the table the day he was not in court, despite him being there. I've seen the screenshots. He'll do probably 5 years. He'll do half of that. But he's going to prison, and he doesn't have the money for a trial. A trial lawyer like this, you're going to have to put $25K down. You know what, Beneficent? My husband's a Pisces, and he is not complex or emotional. Maybe he's on a cusp or something. My husband's got his shit together. So, is there anything else you wanted to share, hon?
I don't think so. Is there anything that I can clear up? Anything anybody needs to know. I made a promise to myself that I would be very guarded with anything I say because I do want to, respect privacy. I feel that this has changed a lot for me as far as the way I look at how we handle things here. There is a other side to all of us outside of YouTube. We have
Absolutely.
And I think we put on brave faces here and very hard
of course.
Years,
I think we all do.
Like a shell to protect us in layers. And I do believe there are sides of all of us that no one has ever seen. And I don't think that they deserve to see them sometimes because people are so nasty and they can be so nasty. But
Jeff, I'm pretty much an open book. I'm vulnerable. I truly feel like people should be able to be free and not have to feel shame.
Yeah.
Have I tucked away things because of others? Sure, but at the end of the day, I know that none of us are perfect. We all fall short of the glory of God. If you are a believer,
every day,
we all have love, hate, we have passion, we have insecurities, we have fears, and if you don't, then there's a problem. But what I do want to say is, yes, a lot of people do put on a front. Jam420 says, has it humbled you a little, Tiffany? What do you mean by humbled, Jam? Humbled her in what sense? Like, did she invest in somebody that she was trying to help? And despite probably the nagging subconscious saying, you're going to get burned again, sometimes people...
I was okay with that.
Okay.
And throughout all of those days, even if he was to turn around and burn me, I was okay with that because I would pray to God that if I was in a situation where I felt hopeless, that someone would stay with me or anybody, because I don't believe that anybody deserves to be alone when they're feeling that way. And did it humble me? Yeah, damn, 420, it changed probably. I don't think
she knows she was manipulated, you guys.
Yeah,
she's not stupid.
But I also do believe that what I witnessed and what I heard was very real. So there may have been manipulation, yes. But there's absolutely no way that someone could fake that. What I heard and what I saw and experienced, I do not believe was fake. I want to make sure that I say that. And if it was, then he should have never come to YouTube. He should have gone to Hollywood. He'd have been on everybody's TV at Thanksgiving and Christmas, Die Hard with a Vengeance. I mean, he would have been literally there. He would have surpassed any actor in the world. So I do believe, while there, yeah, sure, manipulation, okay. But I know it was real. Maybe parts of it were not. I don't know. I can't speak to that, right? Because I'm me. I don't know. But yes, it was humbling in the way, Jam, that life is very precious, and even people that you think are abominable, like you would look at, some people will look at, you say Benny, for instance, and think that he is, his own shield and nothing can break him or touch him. I don't believe that that's true. I think that we're all human and we do break, right? And I guess the question really I would want to know is if this has humbled him enough to do the right thing. And I'm glad that he went safely, because that's all I prayed for, was a safe outcome. And I'm at peace with that. But I want to make sure that when, like Nicolina did this live, and I texted her and said, hey, I think it's important that I say this, and you can say my name, because I want to make sure that I do make sure that the truth is there, because if I was there for the truth, I don't want 10 lives to go on later where all of this stuff, how
and you know what? Yeah. You and I were talking, and I was like, I really don't want to exploit this, but then when I found out all of the factual information, I wanted to present that, because you do know that people like Ernie, Mama T, White Boy Lockdown Radio, I could go on and on. They're going to misrepresent, and they're not going to know the factual information. Sure. Benny Keys is now looking at 10 years in prison He went from 0 years to 5 years to 10 years in one hearing because of his behavior on this platform and in real life. And honestly, we have all been caught up with somebody in real life or online at one point, thinking we were doing the right thing, and it ends up biting you in the ass. So I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna play the songs that he uploaded. I have to get dinner ready. Tiffany,
Thank you
I
for
want to
having
thank
me.
you. I want to thank you for being real and raw and vulnerable with me last night and today. I will never play that last night's call. I recorded it because I thought I was going to be put on the hook with some shit.
Mhm.
But I want you to know I will never, ever fucking play that publicly unless it comes down to I have to.
Sure.
I've also talked to Tiffany about how we just don't give a fuck about the quote unquote anti-tragedy pimps that pimp the tragedies that they proclaim to hate. And myself, I will support Tiffany Marie. And I told her this last night, and I reaffirmed it today against A Balanced and what he has actually done to her. And I took part in it. At the end, harassment. I've also talked to Tiffany about how we just don't give a I will never play that last night's call. I recorded it because I am raw and vulnerable with me last night and today. I will never play that last night's call. I recorded it because I thought I was going to be put on the hook with some shit.
Mhm.
But I want you to know I will never, ever fucking play that publicly unless it comes down to I have to.
Sure.
I've also talked to Tiffany about how we just don't give a fuck about the quote unquote anti-tragedy pimps that pimp the tragedies that they proclaim to hate. And myself, I will support Tiffany Marie. And I told her this last night, and I reaffirmed it today against A Balanced and what he has actually done to her. And I took part in it. At the end, harassing her. If you did not, I don't know if you made that live private, but
No, I think it's
I was in that live stream and felt very convicted because I was part of pushing the narrative about the naked photos. And AB is absolutely obsessed with her. After the split with Ghost and Peachy, AB dropped me like a fucking hot coal and started co-signing people accusing my husband of essaying my daughter.
It's absolutely
He was
terrible. Terrible.
He was repeating it in chats while at the same time, when Benny Keys was saying some of the most depraved things about AB and his daughter, even during that time I was sticking up for AB. And you know what? I am okay to say I was proud of Tiffany for going live, addressing what she had been enduring by AB for 2 years. That forced AB to hide his channel, shut the fuck up for a month. I'm still always going to have Tiffany's back when it comes to A Balance harassing Tiffany. Because at this point, she does not engage him. She actually has let it go on for a very long time. And AB, if you are listening, BS, Salty, any of you, you need to talk to him about his unhealthy obsession with Tiffany. She has PTSD from shit in her life, and all he does is obsess about her, and it's fucking weird. Quiet on the set. Thank you, Tiffany. Maybe we'll talk soon. I'm going to kick you from the panel. Thank you, everyone here. Let's listen to some BK music.
So good, make a nigga invest. Give me a spit, I'm getting it wet. I get it back up, just give me a sec. Give me some bags, I'm getting the bag. Give me some ass, I'm getting some rap. When I'm done, I make them come, but they keep coming off that cash. Get you some guap, guap, get some chicken. Guap, guap, get some bread. Guap, guap, get some chicken. Guap, guap, get some bread. Bitch, press, you can flex. Get some money, ho, tell me why you stress. I need that green, shorty, show me where it's at. You play with me, I might pop up where you at. You make believe, now with me it's only facts. Expensive weed, man, my checks is worth some racks.
Don't forget to be an asshole today. You never know who's having a good day that doesn't fucking deserve it.